Some fights don't announce themselves with hype or headlines. They creep into a fighter's story quietly, almost forgotten by history.
The referee for this bout is Matt Mulaney. Introducing first.
Until you peel back the curtain and realize just how close everything came to falling apart.
Kimmuel Odum.
And for Tommy Morrison, one of those nights arrived when he stepped into the ring against Joe Odum, a rugged,
The Duke Morrison.
underrated heavyweight who didn't care about Morrison's fame.
She's second over here. She's second over here. 3-9.
His movie star reputation, or the thunder in his left hook.
So what do you suppose John Wayne, the real Duke, would say?
On that night, Odum came to expose weaknesses, to drag Morrison into a trench he wasn't prepared to enter, and to remind the boxing world that danger doesn't always look like a superstar.
Power emanates from the left hook. We'll see if that weapon is easier to land against Odum.
Sometimes it wears the face of a fighter with nothing to lose.
Was ultimately knocked out.
Morrison walked into the fight with the swagger of a man climbing toward the top of the division.
Odum kept Morrison off of it that time.
His rise had been dramatic, violent, spectacular.
Once to Milton Bowen and once to Oliver McCall while winning a series of fights.
Fans loved him because he fought with a kind of reckless courage that made every round feel like a coin toss between glory and disaster.
The heavyweights, but losing.
But that same style also made him vulnerable, and Odum, with his toughness and willingness to push forward,
Yeah, interesting. Just in terms of numbers, things are very even.
represented the exact kind of opponent who could turn Morrison's momentum into a nightmare. When the opening bell rang, Morrison came out sharp and explosive.
And that left hook. Well, he hit Whippy Halstead with a left hook.
Testing Odum's chin with the kind of power that usually forced opponents backward. But Odum didn't budge. He absorbed the early shots and returned fire.
You know what's bad, though, so far for Morrison? And I know he's not going to like
Forcing Morrison into exchanges that lacked the control and distance he preferred. Every time Morrison landed something clean, Odum answered with something heavier than expected.
That staggers Odum.
But Odum's landing right hand.
And suddenly the fight didn't feel like a tune-up, it felt like a threat dot as the rounds unfolded. Morrison's expression changed. He still threw combinations with authority, but his rhythm stuttered, his timing shifted, and his confidence thinned.
Yeah, huge left hand. That buckled the knees also of Odum.
Odum's pressure was relentless. He kept taking ground, step by step, punch by punch, dragging Morrison into the kind of gritty battle that tested a fighter's heart, not just his hands. And for a moment, the momentum tilted. Morrison tasted Odum's power,
That Holyfield has other attributes Tommy
felt the weight of those exchanges, and realized that this wasn't a man who would simply fade away. But like all great warriors, Morrison found his moment. Somewhere in the middle of the chaos, he adjusted.
The doctor can stop the fight.
Yeah, but you got to give Kimmuel Odum a chance. He's been knocked down twice.
He began picking his shots with more intention, slipping the inside counters, and using angles to stop Odum from planting his feet. The shift wasn't dramatic, it was technical, subtle, but powerful enough to create the opening he needed. Morrison unleashed a sequence that snapped Odum's head back.
He's a knockout artist, let's be honest. I mean, he can punch. That's never...
Then followed with a devastating hook that electrified the crowd. The momentum belonged to him again. Still, Odum refused to fall. Even hurt, he fought back like a man determined to steal the night from a rising star.
Morrison working the jab and then a good left hand to the body.
Every exchange felt dangerous. Every second carried tension. Morrison wasn't just trading punches, he was battling fatigue, fear, and the growing realization that one mistake could end everything. This wasn't just another victory waiting to happen. This was a lesson unfolding in real time, A reminder that reputation alone can't win a fight. And raw power can only take you so far before discipline must carry the rest. When Morrison finally broke through and closed the show, it wasn't with the reckless aggression he often relied on.
On offense is good. That's a very good left hook.
It was with measured brutality, precision, patience. He placed his punches with purpose, timed the openings, and delivered the final blows with the composure of a fighter learning how to survive, not just win. When Odum finally succumbed to the punishment, it felt like Morrison had escaped more than he had conquered. He had been pushed to the edge, forced to grow.
Kimmuel Odum, a chance. He's been knocked down twice, but his eyes were clear and he's landing punches.
Forced to understand the cost of climbing higher in a division full of giants. Because sometimes the fights that shape a man aren't the ones with bright lights and massive names. They're the quiet wars, the ones that force a fighter to confront his limits and return to the ring a little smarter, a little tougher, and far more dangerous. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe for more dramatic boxing documentaries, and tell me in the comments, did this fight prove that Morrison was evolving? Or did it reveal cracks that bigger opponents later exploited?